All right. I think we are live. Give me one
Woohoo!
second. Check our tech. Make sure we're actually showing up in the group like we're supposed to be.
Love it.
All right. Let's see. There we are. I see us. Woohoo! All right, guys. Happy Friday Eve day to everybody. We've got Facebook here with my YouTube channel. So YouTubers, smash that subscribe button so you never miss one of these weekly trainings. I'm so happy to see everybody here. It's been a great week. I hope you've had a great week as well. And today, holy cow, you guys are in for a treat with a capital T. My friend Pam Pryor is here to save us from ourselves. She is going to share the 4 biggest obstacles that prevent us from really getting a hold of our financial health, the financial health of our business. And okay, before your brain shuts off, hearing that we're talking about finances and money and numbers, just stick with it, because Pam can break this stuff down that feels so scary, and she can break it down into the easiest pieces. I promise. I listen to everything she puts out because it just makes so much sense to me. So stick with us. But I always want to introduce myself to you. In case you're new to me and I'm new to you, I'm Tracy Beavers. I'm your business and sales coach, and I help entrepreneurs to double their income and get new clients consistently without any paid advertising. You can gain the income you want and grow your business with ease. And when you coach with me, I'm all about the ease. I give you a clear roadmap of action steps, very easy to follow systematically, so you know exactly what you need to be working on and not working on. And I know having a roadmap sounds great to you. I know you're tired of feeling overwhelmed and unclear and unfocused and putting the cart before the horse on things. So reach out and set a free information call and let's talk about what's going on. I can help you get organized and get the needle moving in your business. And I emailed you guys last week. I've only got 2 spots left for private one-to-one coaching. So if you're wanting to work with me in the next 4 months, get off the fence and let's talk about it. Whatever's going on, whatever's a struggle for you, send me a message. Let's connect and let's talk about it. Okay, so if you're here live, we always love to see you live. If you're catching replay, there's no shame in that game. If you've got questions, even if you're on replay, if you've got questions or comments for Pam, go ahead and toss them in the chat where you're seeing the live, and I will hook up with Pam to get your questions answered, even if it's after we are live. She would love to do it, and I would love to do that for you as well. So I want to introduce her. She has become someone that is one of my favorite people, and you're about to find out why. She's not only uber smart, but she's really, really kind, and she truly, truly cares about other people and their success. Pam Pryor is here to give us some peace of mind. She is an entrepreneur, a best-selling author, a podcast host, a financial executive, a CPA, speaker, virtual CFO, and a financial coach. And one thing that I recognized immediately in her is she really is the opposite of every accountant you've ever met. When I met her, and then she was like, yeah, I'm an accountant and I love finances and I'm a CFO. I was like, that's really cool. She has created something called the Profit Concierge Path for entrepreneurs. And with that program, she makes finance and accounting something that we can all understand with clarity and fun. She just brings that expertise. So I'm telling you guys, today's going to be great. We have had this collaboration plan for months. So I'm so excited we're finally here together. Pam, is there anything that I forgot to say in that introduction? Anything that you want to share?
Oh my gosh, no, thank you so much. I am equally a fan of yours, Tracy. And, we've never done one-on-one coaching, but the value of everything you put out there for your group is just someplace I knew I wanted to come share and be part in. So thanks so much for welcoming me, and let me get this message out to your tribe. It means the world to me.
Thank you so much. That's so kind. Oh my goodness. Okay, you guys, let's talk about the obstacles. Pam is here to save us. She wants to help us recognize the things that are keeping us from truly understanding our finances, really getting past those money blocks and that fear. Pam, tell us, what are those 4 biggest obstacles that we have got to pay attention to?
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to tell you the 4, and I'm going to tell you a great way to remember them. And then we're going to give you something for each one of those to hop over them, to get just past it, because there is a single step you can take for each one, and then that'll be out of your way, which is awesome. Let's talk about it for a quick second, because what happens is we really have kind of 3 pillars on our business, right? We have the marketing, which is kind of sexy and fun, and we know we have to do it and we spend our time there.
Right.
And we have the operations, which is great because that's our special sauce. That's serving our clients. That's what lights us up. But then there's this other third of the business over here called the finances
Yeah.
that we all avoid. And I've talked now to thousands of entrepreneurs on stages, clients, prospects, et cetera, over the last 6 years.
Mhm.
And I've been able to categorize everybody's sort of avoidance of this topic or dislike for this topic into one of 4 categories.
Okay.
And what I did was realize there are very easy steps to overcome those 4 barriers. So the 4 barriers are best remembered by SOFT or soft.
Okay.
And 2 of them are psychological. It's the S and the O. And 2 of them are or at the S and the F, sorry. 2 of them are very practical, and it's the O and the T. So we're going to go through them one at a time, SOFT. And we're going to hit S first.
Okay.
And S is that insidious word that affects us all, not just in our finances, but in so many ways. And it is shame. Okay.
Yeah.
How does this manifest for us? Okay. I believe that each of us, in fact, let's take a minute and get all your listeners, whether you're watching live, watching on replay, fill out this sentence for me.
Okay.
I'm so embarrassed about my finances because blank. So think for a minute, fill that blank in.
Okay. Got it.
Right? Okay. Now, whether there are 3 people watching at this very moment or 3,000 people watching at this very moment, here's the key. Every single one of them just filled in that blank.
Mm-hmm.
Every, single entrepreneur that you're going to talk to in every room, at every table, from the person that's clearing the plates to the person you look in there and go, oh my God, that's the most successful 8-figure entrepreneur I know, has filled in that sentence. They filled it in with any number of things. I'm so embarrassed about my finances because I filed bankruptcy. I don't know my bank balance. I wasted money on training I never used.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, my spouse has no idea how much credit card debt I have. Everybody fills that blank in, Tracy, and everybody is absolutely sure that their story is the most embarrassing one.
That's true.
Guess what? That
It's
is
not.
physically impossible.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing I say to people is, look, are you going to let that, something that absolutely everybody shares with you, but for whatever reason we don't talk about, be the kryptonite to your superpower?
Mm.
And the answer is no. We're going to put shame on the shelf. But I want to do a little kind of exercise that you can use to get past this.
Okay.
And if it's okay, how much time do we have, Tracy?
I try to keep it around no more than 30 minutes, but
Perfect.
I'm telling you what.
Okay. I'm gonna take you back to 1972 then.
Okay, cool. I was 2.
We have time, but it's going to be short. 1972, I was 10.
I was 2.
Yeah, I was 10. In fact, it's probably 1970 to 1972. I was a little thief. I stole money. And I got caught, once. I got caught when I didn't do it once. And I, turned to the bright side again at about age 10. Here's the thing. I assumed that was behind me. And I was always kind of embarrassed about it, but I never thought about it. Actively, psychologically thought about it until about 5 years ago. And somebody was doing some work with me and said, hey, let's bring up some things you might be ashamed of. And I was utterly ashamed of this.
Wow.
I'm paranoid. I'm a CFO. I'm a finance person. I have access to people's bank accounts.
Yeah.
I thought, whoa, I can't ever let people know this thing. This is just awful.
Right.
And this coach said to me, guess what you're going to do? You're going to write a Facebook post about it.
Holy cow. No way.
And made me do it while I was there on the phone, and I posted it. And 2 things from this. Okay, 2 major things from this. Number 1, the response to the Facebook post was like,
Yeah.
And a lot of kids steal. This kind of thing happens.
Yeah.
Wow, good for you for finally getting past it. Those kind of things. But here's the thing, and here's how powerful those stories are, and why I suggest that as a way to overcome shame, go back to your earliest money story. And it might not be like mine. It might just be that the first thing you heard about money was money doesn't grow on trees. But here's what happened with that story and why this is so incredibly powerful. After I put that post out, what I had done was figured out that if I had stolen that much money in 1970 to 72 and invested whatever I stole in the bank. And I just did some approximations or in the stock market, and it had grown till I think it was 2016 I did this, or 2017.
Yeah.
What would it have been worth? Don't you know that that was exactly the cap for salary that I had ever made or ever was
Holy
making?
cow. No way.
2 days after that post, I got the client that put my business revenue over that limit, and I've never looked back.
Oh my gosh.
So the word on shame here, folks, and there are some other tips too, but we don't have a lot of time. This is the biggest one. Go find your first story, connect some dots, spend some time with it, meditate on it, think about it. How is it limiting you today? Because you would be amazingly surprised. That blew my mind.
Yeah, it's blowing my mind right now. And I'm like wheels turning, trying to remember
what it was. Yeah.
But I really
it's something you might have wasted money as a kid. You might have lost money as a kid. Your parents might have withheld money from you because you didn't do something properly. You know, whatever it is, study it. So anyway, that's the shame.
Wow. Okay.
So that's what we're going to do. Number one, we're just going to put it on the shelf because everybody shares it. So let's just admit we all share it, get in there, put it on the shelf, and not let it be your kryptonite. Okay. Now we're going to move to one of the tactical ones. So one of the tactical ones is O. And O stands for overwhelm, right? So here's how this thing's going to manifest. You're saying things like, all right, I've let this go too long. I know this is important, but I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
Who the heck do I trust? This is my money, right? Who am I even going to trust? A lot of times it comes out at, hey, I want to kill my bookkeeper. He's making me crazy. You know, those kinds of things. And a lot of times what happens, because we're overwhelmed, we just let this stuff pile up. Receipts, pieces of paper, things we don't know if we need to keep. It starts out as this little box, gets to be a bigger box that's overflowing, ends up being a closet full of junk.
Yep.
And the more and the longer that goes on, the more overwhelmed we get.
Right.
So the way I suggest people tackle this, no matter where you are in your business, and believe me, there are some 8-figure businesses that are in this situation, almost literally. But what I suggest is you use what I call the SOB method to dig out of overwhelm.
Okay. I'm making notes as we go.
Oh, cool. Well, SOB stands for separate, organize, and build. And let's start with separate. An action you can take right now, if you have not already, separate your business and your personal finances.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Now.
Yes.
Don't ask, do I really have to? Don't say, well, it's hard because I do stuff on both cards. Stop it.
Right.
Just stop it.
Right.
And here's the why behind that, though. That's not just me being an accountant and saying you need to do this, but here's what you really want to do. Right now, not right now. At the beginning of a business, you're feeding your business.
Right.
At some point, that turns around and your business is feeding you. So beyond all the accounting reasons to do this and making your life easier for tax purposes and not having to sit down at the end of the year and manually go through a bank statement and figure out what's personal and what's business, all that stuff's important too. But more importantly, psychologically, you start to see your business as something other than just, oh, it's merged in with me. No, it's an entity, and it's supposed to be building wealth that contributes to your personal financial success.
Right.
And by separating these two things, now all of a sudden you have a visual into that, and you can keep track of, I've put this much in, I'm getting this much out. And psychologically, you start to see it as something that's a real bonus for you, a real asset for you, and something that you want to make sure is performing. So that's a really, really important thing to do. And also, when things in business, we know, Tracy, things go great, things go poorly. You want to be able to see when things go poorly very clearly so that you can identify when you need to stop trends or work on things or do things. And if it's all mushed and jumbled into your personal stuff, you can't see that.
Right. And you can't see the things that are going well.
Right. Exactly.
You can't see, you can't
celebrate the victories.
No, you don't know the health. You don't know the health of your business. That is a question I ask my clients when we start working together, especially when I'm consulting through the University of Arkansas, and they send me business owners to help. I'm like, are you separating this? And they'll say no, and I'm like,
do it.
Yeah,
just do it. And this will really, really, really help with your overwhelm. I promise you.
Yeah.
Now, even if you're 6 years down the road, 7 years down the road, do it today. And here's the thing, you don't have to set up, ideally, you set up a business entity because there are great legal reasons to do that and other reasons to do it, insurance and legal. But you can just go get another personal business account somewhere,
Right.
another personal credit card account somewhere, and use those for just the business. Put your business income in it, put your business expenses out of it. And then the cool thing about that is if right now you're supporting your business, every time you put money in, you'll physically move it from your personal checking account to your business checking account.
Yeah.
But even better, when your business is making money, it'll go the other way.
Yes. Then that's very fun.
And that's fun.
That's
so
very fun.
cool. So that's the S in
Okay.
SOB.
Love
so
it.
now we're going to organize.
Okay.
And no matter how big or small you are, folks, go ahead and get a bookkeeping system. This is how you organize. And let me tell you why. It's not just because I'm a bookkeeper at heart, accountant, CPA, CFO, and all of that. It's because it makes your life easier. And there are free options out there. There are very simple, user intuitive options out there. If you're not ready to hire a bookkeeper and have somebody do it, yeah, if it's not your jam, you probably want to hire a bookkeeper to do it. But there are some people out there with very reasonable rates, especially for starting businesses, just because you'll probably, if it's not your thing, you'll just leave it and then you won't have the benefit of having done it. But there are two major benefits from doing that.
Okay.
One is you will never have to sort through a bank statement again to figure out how to classify these expenses.
Amen.
It'll happen. You'll get it. You'll do it initially the first couple times, and then 90% of it will happen automatically every month. Just automatically pulls in all those expenses and all that income and just puts it in the right places for you and for your tax accountant. And then the second thing is, okay, and here's I talked to my tax accountant yesterday, and he said this is the year that he is telling everybody get serious about receipts. Because the IRS is adding revenue agents. And if you put deductions for expenses on your tax returns in any time, now and going back however far they can audit, but certainly starting now, if you cannot produce a receipt, and no, an Amex bill does not cut it, a credit card statement does not cut it, a bank statement does not cut it.
Okay.
A receipt for the expense that you've deducted, you'll lose the deduction in an audit.
Wow. Okay.
And the difference between the success rate for somebody who's just done the work on receipts versus hasn't, could be thousands and thousands of dollars. And they will tack on penalties and interest.
I can see where that would be a problem. And okay, so that's interesting. So not the bank statement, not the credit card statement.
A receipt. Yep.
Got it. Okay.
A receipt. And here's the thing with the bookkeeping firm, you don't have to keep the receipt. You scan it right into your bookkeeping software. I have a little app on my phone that's QuickBooks. I scan it, and here's the cool part. I don't have to do anything else but scan it into the app. It goes and finds the bank transaction and matches up to it. So that if I'm ever audited, all I have to do is point the IRS to my QuickBooks and say, I'm out of here. Every expense has a receipt. And he gave me the coolest trick. Tell this to your bookkeeper. There's now a process in QuickBooks where you can tag expenses.
Okay.
Any expense that doesn't have a receipt, tell your bookkeeper to tag it as no receipt. Matt Zepka gets the credit for this of Valley Oak Financial, because then you can run a report of all the expenses that have no receipt, hand it to your team and say, go get these receipts.
Got it. Okay.
Go get them. Hotel bills in particular, you've got to have those. Now, here's the thing. Any meal, if it's under $25, you don't need a receipt for.
Okay. I wondered if that was still true.
Yeah, it is. Now, I had thought that was across the board. Number one, I thought it was $75. And number two, I thought it was across the board.
Okay.
He corrected me and said, technically, it's $25 for meals only.
Okay.
Everything else doesn't matter. You need a receipt.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Starbucks, don't keep the receipt. No need. Just, that kind of thing. So anyway, that has a little more juice in it than I expected it to, just because of that conversation yesterday. So that's the O, that's organize. And now is build. And build, Tracy, I'm going to take a second to describe this, but it's build your business model. Know what your business is doing. And the way I look at this is, we said your business is a house. That's the house where you create your thing, your special sauce. Coming into the house from whichever way you're watching this, the right or the left, coming into your house are all the things you buy to do it. List what those things are. It's your expertise. It's materials. It's contractor help. It's whatever goes into creating the thing you create. In your house, make a list of what you actually do to create it. I literally have a drawing that we do this with for my clients. What is it that you create in your house? And then who do you sell it to goes out the other door. So you've got it flowing across the business this way. The stuff you bring in, you play with it, you add your special sauce, you take it out. For each of those elements, understand what the components are. Who are the people? How do you pay them? Who are the people that are your customers? How do you collect from them?
Okay.
And what are you doing inside the house? The neat thing about this is now you know the story of your business and how it works.
Uh-huh.
Your money flows in the opposite direction, just the other way. So from your customers, you get your cash.
Got it.
You're doing stuff in your house to apply that, apply that to pay for stuff, and out the back door it goes to your vendors and stuff. With you keeping some, hopefully.
Got
And
it.
you're building up a wealth store in your house. That image, that graphic does two things. One is it makes sure you've coherently thought about your whole business model. And I actually have my clients keep it in a picture and just keep it up. It changes every year, a couple times a year, but for the most part, any decision you make then can filter through that picture and go, does it fit my business model?
Ah,
Right. And if it doesn't, it's okay.
right.
But recognize that you're changing your business model.
Right.
And recognize that your money's going to now flow differently.
Got it.
Right? And the other thing this does is now when you get financial reporting,
Uh-huh.
you can set it up so that it aligns with how you tell that story. And you can see it flowing
Okay.
right through the house the other way. Because once your business reports start to tell your story, they're not overwhelming anymore. They make sense. They make sense to you. We're going to talk about that when we get to the T, because in the T in time is where we talk about how to make your numbers make sense. Okay, so that's shame. We're putting it aside. It's not going to be our kryptonite.
Right.
And we're going to play with our money story. The O is overwhelm. We're going to separate, organize, and build our little house. Okay.
Right.
Next one is F. And this one, like shame, is one of the psychological ones. And it's fear, right?
Yes.
We're scared to look at this picture and know what the reality is.
Yes.
But what is fear actually, right? Have you played Chutes and Ladders, Tracy?
Oh yeah.
Chutes and Ladders for the Canadians, although snakes and ladders, why would that be a kid's game? But anyway.
Right.
You remember, so when you as you were getting ready to roll those dice, you never knew, am I going to hit a slide or am I going to hit a ladder, right?
Yep.
And if you were like me, you always hit the ladder at the top right of the board and shoot all the way back to it. Anyway, the entrepreneur's equivalent of that is keeping the door shut and not looking at your finances, because you have no idea whether the next step you're going to take is an opportunity or a pothole, right?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
So the way to overcome fear is to just open the door and get a line of sight. Because here's what happens with fear the minute you open the door. Either it's the tiger you thought was there and you switch into adrenaline mode and I'm going to go handle this now, fight or flight, where fear's gone, or it's a kitty cat. And you go, oh, okay, I just need to step past that and move on. And wow, look at what a great story my finances are telling me. One of the two things is going to happen. But you've put fear behind you at that point. So how do you do that with your finances, right? Well, great. How do I look down the road? Well, the way to look down the road is a forecast. And the forecast is not as hard of a thing to do as you think it might be. So it's in fact, I'll be giving you guys a link at the end of this that you can go get this forecast. You actually have access to a webinar that goes through these in a lot more detail and has a couple of other really cool points about it, and free access to this forecast thing, which takes 8 minutes to watch the video, 15 minutes of your time a week. And I guarantee you, you will find money in your business doing the exercise that the forecast does. But the most amazing thing about the forecast, Tracy, is you're looking 12 weeks down the road, or 12 months if you do it monthly, and you can play around with it. You can go, oh my gosh, if I do this, I run out of money on that date. I better wait and hire that person 2 weeks later.
Got it. Okay.
So that rather than coming right up against a bank overdraft, you've always got this 12-week look at, oh, there's my bank balance. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And you update it every week. 15 minutes a week, Tracy. I swear the exercise takes 15 minutes a week. Really easy to do, very entrepreneur friendly, and you'll be able to get it from the link I'll drop in the chat. Okay. So that's how we're going to deal with fear. We're actually going to open the door with a forecast that, and I every client of mine from when I was in corporate and they were $300 million companies to starting companies that had zero cash in the bank. I have made do this exercise, and every one of them has thanked me for it and still has it in place.
Yeah. You just got to rip the Band-Aid off and do it.
Yeah. And it's amazing because number one, most of them really do find, okay, it's not as bad as I thought.
Right. Right.
But number two is, oh, here's how I can deal with that because it's there. It's like one guy wasn't going to take Christmas with his family one year. He was actually doing some marketing work for me.
Yeah.
And he did this exercise because he had it since he was doing my marketing work.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden he realized he could have taken off all the way through February and not hurt his pipeline or his business.
Wow.
So I say forecast save marriages. So there,
Yeah.
do a forecast.
I like that.
Awesome. Okay. Very last thing, time.
Yeah.
We are busy. We don't have time for anything.
This
And
is true.
you know, it's just the real part of being an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
But I'll tell you this: if anybody, any bookkeeper, any accountant ever just gives you a piece of paper and says, "Here are your finances," and it's just a piece of paper with numbers on it,
Yeah.
you don't have time for that. Throw it away.
Right.
Absolutely, throw it away. What is valuable for you, what is worth spending your time on, is getting numbers that tell the story of your business. And the
Okay.
way to get numbers that tell your story of your business is to put them in context or have your bookkeeper put them in context. Or if you get one of these bookkeeping softwares I'm recommending, it does it automatically.
Okay.
And the two contexts are over time
Mhm.
and versus your expectations. So let me
Okay.
just give you a brief example. Say that it's August and you're getting ready to look at your August financial numbers. If you just
Mhm.
look at a sheet of paper, and I'll use a typical profit and loss statement, which is the report that most entrepreneurs are familiar with. And
Right.
essentially, let's just say it's 3 lines. It's your income, the money you get from your clients. It's
Mhm.
what you spend on that minus what you spend, and what's
Mhm.
left is called net income.
Right.
Okay. So if all you get is a piece of paper that says, I made 12, I spent 5, I have 7 left,
Mhm.
so what? Throw it away. There's no meaning in that, right?
Right.
But if you get a piece of paper that has what's happened for the last 12 months in
Mhm.
columns across the page, now you've got a story. Oh, when I spent more on marketing, my
Mhm.
revenue went up 3 months later. Oh
Yep.
my gosh, I lose all my customers in the summer because they go on vacation. I need to
Mhm.
cut costs then. Oh, if I don't invest in marketing, my sales fall off the page. You can now
Ah,
look at your numbers over that thing and see the trends, and it will start to tell you the story and give you business levers that you can actually move
yes.
around to have an impact. So
Yes.
now that's very much worth your time to look at,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Cool.
Absolutely.
And then the second context is expectations. What I always do right before I go into a new month is go, what's the revenue I think I'm going to make? What are
Mhm.
the expenses I think I'm going to spend? What do I think I'm going to have left?
Yeah.
Very rough. You can do it on the back of an envelope. You don't have to
Right.
be down to the gnats, you know what, as they say. So just put that down on a piece of paper, and then at the end of the month, when you get those numbers from wherever,
Yeah.
compare them. Because now if I just said you made 12, you spent 5, you have 7 left, it doesn't mean anything. But if in my thought for the month I was going to make 10, spend 5, have 5 left,
Right.
now I can look, why did I make 12 instead of 10? Oh, that's right. I tried that price increase. Wow, look, it worked. I still sold two things,
Okay.
even with my price increase. Good. That's rock solid. Why did I only spend 5 instead of 7? That's right. I changed to a new vendor who's a much better price point for me.
Got it.
Is the quality still good enough? Let me make sure. It's a
Mhm.
story. You can integrate it. You can look at the things that you do in your business and adjust them to make sure that next month your estimate's better and that you can start to rely on it a little bit more or grow and use the stuff you learned.
Got it.
So that's it. That's the SOFT.
Okay.
Shame, put it on the shelf.
Mhm.
It's not worth thinking you're any different than anybody else or that your problem is the worst that anybody's ever seen.
Right.
For the overwhelm, the
Mhm.
SOP method, separate, organize, and build. For fear, let's go ahead and open that door with a very easy to do forecast.
Yep.
And then for time, make sure you're always looking at your stuff in context. And I'm dropping in a chat here
Yes.
a link where it's called Finance Checkmate, where people can go. Oh, I put that in the private chat. I didn't mean to do that. Let me put it in the
Um,
comments here. Oh, I may not be able to hit the comments.
yeah, you might not be able to right now, but we
But I
can.
just copied it in the private so you can drop it over there. But it's basically pampryor.me
Okay.
slash finance checkmate. And
Okay.
this teaches entrepreneurs how to checkmate their finances in a really cool webinar that expands on what we're talking about here a little bit. But then it also gives them, as a bonus, just for watching the webinar, you get the free cash flow tool, which, my gosh, if you do nothing else, folks, I really, really recommend you do this. Nobody I know has gone through it for 12 weeks and not made a significant savings or money find in their business.
That's amazing. Tell us the link again. I'm going to write
It
it down.
is
Okay.
pampryor.me/finance checkmate.
Got it. Okay. I will make sure. I know my assistant Jill is on here. She's so good. I'm
Awesome.
sure she'll grab that and she'll put that in the comments for everybody as well.
Awesome.
I'll
Awesome. Awesome.
I'll make sure that's done. That's awesome. So I know that we have. I did see a question come through. If we have a time for a
Sure.
question.
I'm good if you are. Yep.
Yep, I'm good. So Elena is asking, what are some of those free resources for a bookkeeper, either a software or an app?
Mm-hmm.
What do you recommend?
Yeah. So the ones that are free or very cheap at this point are FreshBooks is
Okay.
definitely one of them. Wave, WAVE, may still be free as well. QuickBooks Quick Start
Okay.
is my favorite. And I don't get paid by them. So, this is truly me saying it's my favorite because I think it's the most intuitive and yet sets people up for as their business grows. They can move right up the chain of QuickBooks, kind of quality. But
Mhm.
QuickBooks for Quick Start, I think it's like $20 a month.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and very, very intuitive. Like I said, it doesn't have all the complicating stuff. It's very straightforward.
Okay.
Xero's Xero also has a platform that's I think relatively affordable entry point. And there's one I'm forgetting, but Tracy, when I remember it, I'll drop it in the
Yeah,
comment.
I do. That'd be
Yeah.
great. Elena, it's not QuickBooks, it's Quick Start.
Well,
It's
it's
the
QuickBooks Quick Start.
got
But
it.
like QuickBooks has a bunch of levels of service, and QuickBooks Quick Start is the level to jump right in if you're just starting out. Yeah.
Okay,
But
cool.
don't get that bookkeeping system till you separate your business and your personal checking accounts and credit cards.
Right. That's super important. Super
Yeah.
important. Love it. Okay, Pam. So we've got that link where they can grab that checkmate
Cool.
system. Just, oh my gosh, so much information. I know everybody's kind of blown away and they've all been taking notes like I have.
Awesome.
I needed more than one sticky note to get all my stuff written down. But is there anything else, just like one last tip that you think would help everybody, kind of really once and for all overcome that fear and just really just rip the Band-Aid off and open the door?
Yeah. Yes. Give yourself grace. Okay. So we all have things that we were not educated in. So
Yes,
you weren't ever taught how to balance, probably how to balance a checkbook, even in high school, elementary school, or college.
I
You
was.
probably
See,
were
I still
never
had it.
taught, yeah, how does money work in a business?
Wasn't taught that.
Know that there is no question that is stupid, embarrassing, or any of the others. Give yourself the grace to accept that this is just not something you were taught. And
Right.
so it's okay to take the first imperfect step forward and start to learn it for yourself. And if you can really go at it, and this masterclass, I hate to brag on it, but it's a really good way to start. Gives you some of the things you can do to just take those first steps, get comfortable in the zone,
Yeah.
and once you're there, like anything else, like me with marketing, I was terrified of marketing, right? Terrified to do a Facebook Live. Once you start doing it, once you just take those first steps, it's like riding a bike. You get better and better. And then all of a sudden, heck, it's like my knee recovery.
Yeah.
For 4 weeks, 5 weeks, it felt like absolute pain. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, wow, I'm walking normally.
Right. And you're
Yeah.
all over TikTok. So
And
going
I'm,
from someone who doesn't want to do the marketing to now I'm seeing Pam's
yeah.
TikToks all over the place.
Yeah, we are TikTok crazy.
It's so true though. I say I help my clients with that too. I'm like, we just have to start. Once you start doing it. And I was scared to do my numbers too. I have a very simple profit and loss system I bought from Katie Farrow.
Perfect.
This simple business kit.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. I've heard of hers.
It's like when I bought it, it was $127 one time. You own it
Mhm.
forever, and all you do is make copies of the Google sheet. All the
Perfect.
formulas are there. It is a beautiful profit and loss thing that I was terrified to use, and now I cannot wait to use it
Now
because
you can't live without it, probably.
I feel so smart, and I feel like I can see my numbers, and I'm like actually feeling like a CEO, and I can, and I feel like I'm really doing it, and it just
Love it.
so I went from being like, I don't want to do that, that's not fun, to now I'm like, I like it.
Yeah, my mission is to get a Zoom call with literally a few thousand entrepreneurs on it, all saying finance is fun at one time. I'm going to have one of those massive screens. We're going to record it because it's going to happen. I'm taking them down one at a time. Boom, boom,
Hilarious.
boom, boom. It's fun.
That is so funny. I love it. All right, my friends, I know that you have learned a lot today. And we always want to know what you think. What can we help you with? If you've got questions for Pam, like I said, even if you're on replay, toss them in the comments. Tag her because she's a member of this group. Yep. And I know she will hop in and answer them. She loves to hear from you, and so do I. So, and if you're loving this content, save this video into your favorites so you can go back and listen to it on those days when you feel like the finances are overwhelming and you feel like you can't do the numbers and you don't know where to start. I want you to save this and go back as a resource and listen to it and let Pam guide you, because that is what she loves to do. And I know she would want you to do that. And I want to share with you, don't forget, the doors to Business Visibility Made Easy are opening in the middle of September. We are going to give away all kinds of special discounts and offers to those that are on the wait list. You have got to be on the wait list in order to get the special offers and discounts that are going to come your way before the cart actually opens. Growing your business without paid ads does not have to be a big deal. This 8-week program is going to walk you through every free organic marketing method you can find and use on social media, on podcast guest spots, going live on Facebook to attract your ideal audience to you so they want to buy from you. And the people that have gone through this program have had 5-figure launches. They have grown their Facebook groups to over 1,200 members. They've got monthly recurring revenue streams going on. So I know that this would give you hope and decrease those days that you want to quit. So Jill is going to toss the link to the Business Visibility Made Easy waitlist. Get on the wait list so that you are with us and you know exactly when the special deals and offers are coming. And remember, I say this every week, and I know Pam will agree with me. Don't go it alone. Being an entrepreneur,
oh my gosh,
freaking hard. Pam, is that not the truth?
It was the longest lesson it took me to learn, and I will never ever go back. The tribe, you being one of them, that just the relationships that you build, we all lift the tide together now, and it's so much easier. So much easier.
And tell me this too, because you work with million-dollar corporations, okay, those CEOs and those owners, don't they still have days of doubt, and don't they still feel?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I am on with, I have clients everywhere from, below 100,000 all the way up to 8 figures. Yeah. And I have calls with those CEOs sometimes in the middle of the night, sometimes early on a Saturday morning, where they're like, the whole thing's falling apart. I can't, what do I do? Yeah. Every single one of them, like the problems, the concerns change, and they don't want to be alone. And I'll tell you, the successful ones, all of them are in some sort of tribe of their own. Yeah. Because they know that none of them built theirs alone. None of them, not one that I've worked with.
Right. I'm so glad that you're here to say that for everybody, because you have that experience. I've been saying it for over a year, on my live trainings, that it doesn't matter if you're starting out day one or you're year 18 and you're a multi-million-dollar business. There's still that roller coasteriness of, am I doing the right thing? Are the wheels going to come off the bus? And I want everybody I want to remind them that they're not alone in that feeling. Right. And you do have to band together. So thank you for giving some context to that and proof of that, because that is super helpful. All right, you guys, have a great balance of the week and weekend. And just remember, I say this every week, when one of us rises, we all rise, just like Pam just said.
Love it.
So keep cheering each other on. All right, I'm going to look and just make sure. Let's see. Elena said, what is the name of that one, Tracy? Okay, I'm not sure, Elena, what you are asking.
That was your Google Sheet accounting system that you mentioned.
Okay. It is Katie Farrow's Small Business Starter.
F-E-R-R-O?
F-E-R-R-O, K-A-T-I-E-F-E-R-R-O, Small Business Starter Kit. And I will put the link to that in the comments. Full disclosure, I love it so much, I'm an affiliate for it. So it's going to be my affiliate link. But even if you don't get it from my affiliate link, look at it.
And I vouch that it's a great starter system. And it sets everything up for when and if you ever want to migrate to another, like you need to get more complicated, it's a good starter system. It really is.
Awesome. Well, that makes me feel like a smart CEO.
I should have mentioned, I totally forgot about Katie's stuff.
That's totally okay. All right, Pam, thank you so much. I am going to.
Thank you. I loved being here. This is my jam. So thank you for giving me a stage to do it on.
You're so welcome. Oh, and tell everybody really fast, what's the name of your Facebook group? Because there's so much knowledge in there.
It's called Profit-Ability. Club. Profitability with a dash between profit and ability club. And we welcome entrepreneurs, especially ones that I know are already attached to Tracy. So if you are, when you answer the questions, let me know you came from Tracy. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, join that group because Pam does her lives. She does TikToks with information. There's so much knowledge in there, and you'll have a direct access to Pam. Profitability Club.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Thanks, everybody. I will see you guys next week.